Welcome to the Bible in a Year reading plan. Together we will read through the entire Bible. A portion from the Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms and Proverbs every day. Today's reading is in the video image. Read along, listen daily, and grow in the Word. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay on track with us daily. And you can always go back to previous videos if you miss any days. Deuteronomy 29. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. 2 Now Moses called all Israel and said to them, You have seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land. 3 The great trials which your eyes have seen, the signs, and those great wonders. 4 Yet the Lord has not given you a heart to perceive and eyes to see and ears to hear, to this very day. 5 And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not worn out on you, and your sandals have not worn out on your feet. 6 You have not eaten bread, nor have you drunk wine or similar drink, that you may know that I am the Lord your God. 7 And when you came to this place, Sihon king of Heshbon and Og king of Bashan came out against us to battle, and we conquered them. 8 We took their land and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites, to the Gadites, and to half the tribe of Manasseh. 9 Therefore keep the words of this covenant, and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. 10 All of you stand today before the Lord your God, your leaders and your tribes and your elders and your officers, all the men of Israel. 11 Your little ones and your wives also, the stranger who is in your camp, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water. 12 That you may enter into covenant with the Lord your God, and into his oath, which the Lord your God makes with you today. 13 That he may establish you today as a people for himself, and that he may be God to you, just as he has spoken to you, and just as he has sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. 14 I make this covenant and this oath, not with you alone. 15 But with him who stands here with us today before the Lord our God, as well as with him who is not here with us today. 16 For you know that we dwelt in the land of Egypt, and that we came through the nations which you passed by. 17 And you saw their abominations and their idols which were among them, wood and stone and silver and gold. 18 So that there may not be among you man or woman or family or tribe, whose heart turns away today from the Lord our God, to go and serve the gods of these nations, and that there may not be among you a root bearing bitterness or wormwood. 19 And so it may not happen, when he hears the words of this curse, that he blesses himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, even though I follow the dictates of my heart, as though the drunkard could be included with the sober. 20 The Lord would not spare him, for then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy would burn against that man, and every curse that is written in this book would settle on him, and the Lord would blot out his name from under heaven. 21 And the Lord would separate him from all the tribes of Israel for adversity, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law. 22 So that the coming generation of your children who rise up after you, and the foreigner who comes from a far land, would say, when they see the plagues of that land and the sicknesses which the Lord has laid on it. 23 The whole land is brimstone, salt, and burning. It is not sown, nor does it bear, nor does any grass grow there, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and his wrath. 24 All nations would say, Why has the Lord done so to this land? What does the heat of this great anger mean? 25 Then people would say, Because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. 26 For they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods that they did not know and that he had not given to them. 27 Then the anger of the Lord was aroused against this land, to bring on it every curse that is written in this book. 28 And the Lord uprooted them from their land in anger, in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. 29 The secret things belong to the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Deuteronomy 30. Now it shall come to pass, when all these things come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you call them to mind among all the nations where the Lord your God drives you, 2. And you return to the Lord your God and obey his voice, according to all that I command you today, you and your children, with all your heart and with all your soul. 3. That the Lord your God will bring you back from captivity, and have compassion on you, and gather you again from all the nations where the Lord your God has scattered you. 4. If any of you are driven out to the farthest parts under heaven, from there the Lord your God will gather you, and from there he will bring you. 5. Then the Lord your God will bring you to the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. He will prosper you and multiply you more than your fathers. 6. And the Lord your God will circumcise your heart and the heart of your descendants, to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, that you may live. 7. Also the Lord your God will put all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. 8. And you will again obey the voice of the Lord and do all his commandments which I command you today. 9. The Lord your God will make you abound in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body, in the increase of your livestock, and in the produce of your land for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over you for good as he rejoiced over your fathers. 10. If you obey the voice of the Lord your God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law, and if you turn to the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. 11. For this commandment which I command you today is not too mysterious for you, nor is it far off. 12. It is not in heaven, that you should say, who will ascend into heaven for us and bring it to us, that we may hear it and do it. 13. Nor is it beyond the sea, that you should say, who will go over the sea for us and bring it to us, that we may hear it and do it. 14. But the word is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. 15. See, I have set before you today life and good, death and evil. 16. And that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, his statutes, and his judgments, that you may live and multiply, and the Lord your God will bless you in the land which you go to possess. 17. But if your heart turns away so that you do not hear, and are drawn away, and worship other gods and serve them. 18. I announce to you today that you shall surely perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which you cross over the Jordan to go in and possess. 19. I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your descendants may live. 20. That you may love the Lord your God, that you may obey his voice, and that you may cling to him, for he is your life and the length of your days, and that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them. Mark 15. 1. Immediately, in the morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council, and they bound Jesus, led him away, and delivered him to Pilate. 2. Then Pilate asked him, Are you the king of the Jews? He answered and said to him, It is as you say. 3. And the chief priests accused him of many things, but he answered nothing. 4. Then Pilate asked him again, saying, Do you answer nothing? See how many things they testify against you. 5. But Jesus still answered nothing, so that Pilate marveled. 6. Now at the feast he was accustomed to releasing one prisoner to them, whomever they requested. 7. And there was one named Barabbas, who was chained with his fellow rebels. They had committed murder in the rebellion. 8. Then the multitude, crying aloud, began to ask him to do just as he had always done for them. 9. But Pilate answered them, saying, Do you want me to release to you the king of the Jews? 10. For he knew that the chief priests had handed him over because of envy. 11. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd, so that he should rather release Barabbas to them. 12. Pilate answered and said to them again, What then do you want me to do with him whom you call the king of the Jews? 13. So they cried out again, Crucify him. 14. Then Pilate said to them, Why, what evil has he done? But they cried out all the more, Crucify him. 15. So Pilate, wanting to gratify the crowd, released Barabbas to them, and he delivered Jesus, after he had scourged him, to be crucified. 16. Then the soldiers led him away into the hall called Praetorium, and they called together the whole garrison. 17. And they clothed him with purple, and they twisted a crown of thorns, put it on his head, 18, and began to salute him, Hail, King of the Jews, 19. Then they struck him on the head with a reed and spat on him, and bowing the knee, they worshipped him. 20. And when they had mocked him, they took the purple off him, put his own clothes on him, and led him out to crucify him. 21. Then they compelled a certain man, Simon a Cyrenian, the father of Alexander and Rufus, as he was coming out of the country and passing by, to bear his cross. 22. And they brought him to the place Golgotha, which is translated, place of a skull. 23. Then they gave him wine mingled with myrrh to drink, but he did not take it. 24. And when they crucified him, they divided his garments, casting lots for them to determine what every man should take. 25. Now it was the 3rd hour, and they crucified him. Psalm 74. A contemplation of Asaph. O God, why have you cast us off forever? Why does your anger smoke against the sheep of your pasture, to remember your congregation, which you have purchased of old, the tribe of your inheritance, which you have redeemed, this Mount Zion, where you have dwelt. 3. Lift up your feet to the perpetual desolations. The enemy has damaged everything in the sanctuary. 4. Your enemies roar in the midst of your meeting place. They set up their banners for signs. 5. They seem like men who lift up axes among the thick trees. 6. And now they break down its carved work, all at once, with axes and hammers. 7. They have set fire to your sanctuary. They have defiled the dwelling place of your name to the ground. 8. They said in their hearts, Let us destroy them altogether. They have burned up all the meeting places of God in the land. 9. We do not see our signs. There is no longer any prophet, nor is there any among us who knows how long. 10. O God, how long will the adversary reproach? Will the enemy blaspheme your name forever? 11. Why do you withdraw your hand, even your right hand? Take it out of your bosom and destroy them. 12. For God is my king from of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. 13. You divided the sea by your strength. You broke the heads of the sea serpents in the waters. 14. You broke the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gave him as food to the people inhabiting the wilderness. 15. You broke open the fountain in the flood. You dried up mighty rivers. 16. The day is yours, the night also is yours. You have prepared the light and the sun. 17. You have set all the borders of the earth. You have made summer and winter. 18. Remember this, that the enemy has reproached, O Lord, and that a foolish people has blasphemed your name. 19. Oh, do not deliver the life of your turtle dove to the wild beast. Do not forget the life of your poor forever. 20. Have respect to the covenant, for the dark places of the earth are full of the haunts of cruelty. 21. Oh, do not let the oppressed return ashamed. Let the poor and needy praise your name. 22. Arise, O God, plead your own cause. Remember how the foolish man reproaches you daily. 23. Do not forget the voice of your enemies. The tumult of those who rise up against you increases continually. Thanks for reading with me today. Come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Bible. Like and subscribe so you don't miss the next day.